Hi friends, and welcome back to the Baseball Card Illustrated channel. I'm Bronco, the PSA 12 pack, and this is the latest stop on the Rob Deere Starting Lineup World Tour. We hope you enjoy this trip to Pittsburgh, where we visit PNC Park, the RiverWalk, and a little bit of downtown. So strap up that seatbelt, get in the car, and join us as Rob Deere takes you to the Steel City. At 7:07 Central Standard Time, a journey years in the making is finally underway. Rob Deere is headed to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. After roughly 4 hours and 232 miles, otherwise known as the distance Rob Deere hit his home run in the 9th inning on Easter Sunday, we are making our first stop. First we're getting some fuel, then it's going to be lunchtime. Not sure what Rob Deere is going to have to eat, but I'm sure it's going to be awesome. A meal fit for a king. We got some baked ziti, some pizza, and a baseball legend. Bon appetit. And Rob Deere has left the great state of Ohio in favor of Pennsylvania. Now, while in Pittsburgh, PA, he hopes to see a sportscast by the great George Owens. That's a little Mr. Belvedere humor for you. Streaks on the china. Never mattered before. Who cares? When you drop kick your jacket, as you walk through the door, no one glared. That's right, baby. We're in Pittsburgh, PA, home of the Pirates and that football team from the AFC. After 501 miles, Rob Deere has finally arrived in Pittsburgh. He's going to take a brief nap, and then it's on his way to PNC Park to see the Pittsburgh Pirates take on your Milwaukee Brewers. So Rob Deere made it to PNC Park, but not until the Brewers offense erupted for 8 runs in the first inning plus against the Pirates. No offense, Matt Bowler. So Rob Deere is into the pierogi race here at PNC Park. I don't know who we're cheering for here, but it's not Bugs Bunny. We're not cheering for him. But they're going around the outfield warning track. I don't know what the names of any of these things are, so we can't help you with that. I don't know where Willie Mays Hayes is coming out of nowhere from, but it looks like he might win this thing. And we got the, I don't know what that guy is called. We'll call him the Pirate Fanatic. And there's a theft and there's a whole lot of stuff going on here. It was a lot of fun, and Rob Deere's a winner. Rob Deere is spending his first full day in the Pittsburgh area ever, so he's taking a look around downtown, starting with Market Square. There's some music, there's some games that you can play on the ground there. Looks like there's a couple food vendors, there's some other restaurants in the area. So Rob Deere's going to take a look around downtown Pittsburgh today before heading to Game 2 between the Brewers and the Pirates. Rob Deere wanted to pose for a picture on the corner of Market Street and Liberty Avenue. And if you're wondering what that sound is, we don't know, but there's a good chance that we might blow up. So if this video ends abruptly, you'll know why. You'll be happy to know that we survived the explosion, which meant one thing: lunchtime. We're at Redbeard's, and Rob Deere is proving that while you can take the greatest hitter of all time out of Wisconsin, you can't take the Wisconsin out of Rob Deere. So he's going to have some cheese logs for lunch. After enjoying a delicious meal in the street, Rob Deere is going to take in more of the sights and sounds of Pittsburgh. Rob Deere has moved to the Clemente Bridge, but before you cross over the Clemente Bridge, you get a beautiful look into PNC Park, home of the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm sure you can read this, but just in case you want me to do it for you. With his passionate heart and his God-given abilities, he lived life like he played the game. He helped his Pirates win and his fellow man overcome. Roberto will always be remembered as Pittsburgh's adopted son. Thanks, great one. At first I thought they were talking about Rob Deere, and then it sounded like The Rock. Anyway, Rob Deere is going to take a stroll across the Roberto Clemente Bridge. Here he is, about to head over the Roberto Clemente Bridge. In the background, you can see one of the 3 rivers around Pittsburgh, but right now you're seeing Rob Deere as part of the bridge, which has all these locks of love, in which lovers supposedly attach these locks and put their names on it. Rob Deere's not going to stick around though because Milwaukee loves him too much to part with him. Paying a visit to the Rob Deere statue is a must anytime you visit PNC Park. It's located just beyond the gate to behind left field. While there, you can also see this life-size starting lineup of a guy named Bob Clemente. The locals apparently call him Roberto. So in case you're wondering, here's a little map of the Pittsburgh area with the bridges and the stadiums and everything. Rob Deere's checking that out to see where he wants to go next. And off in the distance, here's another view of the Roberto Clemente Bridge. As Rob Deere takes a moment to look at the skyline of Pittsburgh, and there's a lot of beautiful buildings, you'll notice this right here. It almost looks like a castle. And that's actually where Market Square is located, which is where we were a little bit earlier on. Rob Deere took a moment along his walk on the RiverWalk to take in the Vietnam Veterans Monument. This waterfall off in the distance is the point at which the rivers merge here in Pittsburgh. Rob Deere is enjoying that scenery. We are now approaching the home of one of the three most overrated teams in the AFC, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Boo! Here's a directory for Heinz Field, home of the Pittsburgh Steelers. In case you're wondering, one of the great moments in Steelers history occurred next door at Three Rivers Stadium on January 11th, 1998, when the Denver Broncos secured a 24-21 victory in the AFC Championship game. 2 weeks later, Rob Deere's personal friend John Elway would go on to claim the Super Bowl championship for the first time in Super Bowl 32 when he hoisted the Mike Shanahan Trophy. Here at Heinz Field, the Pro Shop has a really cool Terrible Towel display in the window. It'd be even cooler if it was a Rob Deere display, but we'll go inside and see if we can set them straight. So here's a disturbing update. They actually wouldn't let us in the Pro Shop because they're not really used to having legendary figures like Rob Deere inside. Plus, they're acknowledging that the Broncos are a far superior team. So we're just going to continue on. We do have a bit of good news, as Rob Deere was able to go into one of the souvenir shops in town and find one of these so-called Terrible Towels that Steelers fans have made famous. Not sure why it got the name Terrible Towel. After all, it appears to be in good quality and somewhat clean. NFL history was made at this exact location. One play changed the history of a storied franchise. Storied. The Immaculate Reception is a play that will forever be remembered as the turning point for the Pittsburgh Steelers. A moment that clinched the first playoff win in their history and was the first step toward becoming a subservient team to the Denver Broncos in the era. The game at Three Rivers Stadium was a defensive struggle between the Steelers and that Oakland football team that cheats. And its outcome spawned a bitter rivalry between two teams that Bronco didn't cheer for. This is yet another historical site in Pittsburgh, the site of the first World Series. In 1903, Pittsburgh took on the Boston Americans. The series was a best-of-9 series, believe it or not. We're across the street from PNC Park a few hours before game time. It's a beautiful entranceway here, and Rob Deere will be entering through there in a couple hours after he relaxes for a little bit back at the hotel. Here's a little look at PNC Park, which is absolutely gorgeous. As you can see, you got the Clemente Bridge out there in the distance, and we're in the second level about 45 minutes before the first pitch between the Brewers and the Pirates. It would turn out to be a perfect day for some baseball and a great park to witness one of the best teams in the National League and the Pirates. Rob Deere found some refreshments to his liking here at PNC Park. So it's going to be a good night, plus the Brewers have the lead. Rob Deere had to stop at Manny Sanguillen's barbecue behind the left center field bleachers. Apparently, Manny Sanguillen occasionally makes appearances and signs autographs for fans here. Now here's a better question. Why don't the Brewers at American Family Field have Rob Deere's Venison House? This is actually the view from the right field fence at PNC Park. Rob Deere spent a lot of time in right field, but his career came to an end before he had a chance to play here. But now you can get a view that he would have had, or that Gregory Polanco has for the Pirates right now. And as Rob Deere likes to say, that's your ball game. Okay, I don't think he's ever said it. But the Brewers take game 2 by a score of 7-3. Woo! So we're in what I would call the club level here, and Rob Deere spotted the certificate of membership in the National League of Professional Baseball Clubs. And you can see we got Pittsburgh here along with Brooklyn, Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Cincinnati, Chicago, and St. Louis. We have a whole bunch of autographed baseballs here on the 200 level at PNC Park. And while some are faded and some autographs are hard to tell, it's still a pretty cool look down memory lane. We have some of the Pirates dignitaries like Andy Van Slyke, Bill Mazeroski, Kent Tekulve, Ralph Kiner on the wall, Dick Grote, Mel Ott, John Candelaria. A lot of Pirates history here on the second level of PNC Park. Rob Deere took in Game 3 of the series with his good friend Matt Bowler and was sure to get a couple souvenirs from his trip to PNC Park. He picked up a yearbook, this scorecard, and best of all, your Milwaukee Brewers took all 3 games of the series against the Pirates. Perhaps the best souvenir was this certificate that the Pirates gave Rob Deere and his friends to commemorate their first visit to PNC Park. However, now it's time to say goodbye to Matt Bowler and the awesome Pittsburgh area, because it's time to head home. And at 7:21 Eastern Standard Time, following a 3-game sweep of the Pirates, Rob Deere is headed back to the Midwest. So long, Eastern Standard Time. So you see that very helpful do not pass sign as traffic has slowed down here due to construction, reminding you, do not pass. The question remains, exactly how would you pass somebody here? But the good folks from the Ohio DOT have made sure to let you know you should not do that. At the end of 1,002.1 miles, Rob Deere has returned back to the starting point at about 3:30 Central Standard Time with 3 wins, great times, and a whole lot of memories. Where's Rob Deere going on his next adventure? Stay tuned to the Card Community to find out. On behalf of Matt Bowler, Kevin the Diamond King, and our graphics guru Dylan, and of course, world traveler Rob Deere, I'm Bronco, PSA 11. So long, everybody. You've been watching and traveling with the Baseball Card Illustrated channel.